Hello and welcome to this week's vlog from Maddisons. Well, of course, a week of real turmoil last week in the political climate. Gosh, I couldn't keep up with the news as it changed. And of course, that just creates more uncertainty in the market, and the housing market doesn't like uncertainty. So sort of big questions around it at the moment. Will sellers retract from putting their properties on the market if they fear that they're going to have to sell it at a really reduced price? You might result in only seeing what's called forced sales. People have just got to sell, with other sellers taking their time. Will buyers become nervous of committing? They might fear that property prices will slump if we don't have a favourable deal from leaving the European Union, and they might be worried about their job security and taking on extra mortgage commitments. So lots of questions that creates all this uncertainty in the market. So interesting to see some areas that have bucked that trend. Winchester, Reigate and a host of others that seem to be very popular still with commuters have seen house price rises from January to June. And one such place that's seen a rise of just over 26,000 on an average property sale between the months of January and June this year is Uckfield, not so far away from us. So yes, signs that despite all that uncertainty, there is still confidence in the market in certain areas, and certainly we see a property here in the town centre still very, very attractive and appealing, and no skip to the beat of kind of what Brexit is causing with that. Well, some celebrity properties just to have a look at this week. I thought you might be interested in two little stories. Ed Sheeran, he loves the village of Framlingham in Suffolk. He first bought there back in 2012 and bought a big farmhouse for £895,000. And he also bought next door a timber-framed building for £525,000. And then a few years later, there was a bungalow that came up for sale very close to his particular boundary. So he snipped that up at £450,000. And then about another year later, bought a detached 4-bedroom house that bordered onto his land. That one also had been on the market for a little while, and he thought he'd snap that one up. And then his neighbour, Sharon Jest, had just had enough of all this. Ed basically monopolising the area, so she sold her house to him a couple of years ago for £895,000. And then he petitioned to put a chapel in his garden so he could marry his long-term girlfriend, Cherry, and that was sadly rejected. There are lots and lots of evidence there of how he just loves that area and is buying it up, but interestingly objected, allegedly, to 2 houses being built on a neighbouring paddock. The guy of that was particularly cross when he's obviously putting in a petition to build a chapel in his house. So real celebrity excess there. He's worth 160 million, they say, so he could certainly afford a few more properties in Framlingham if they come available. And James Blunt, well, his former family home is up for sale in the beautiful village of Holt in Norfolk. It's an old windmill, and it's an 11-bedroom property with just some fabulous features. Clay Windmill, it's called. It's a striking red brick building set over 5 floors in a Grade 2 listed property, and has scooped a string of accolades over the year, taking advantage of its unique views in an area of surrounding natural beauty. It's stopped milling back in 1921 when it was converted to a residential home and was transformed into a guest house and holiday accommodation, and could still run as it's still doing that now. Its price is on application, being sold with Stratton Parker, so get in touch with them if that's of interest to you. 2 new properties that we've launched to market this week, both with gardens in the title, which is quite interesting. So Queen's Garden, we've got a lovely 4-bedroom property, been listed at a guide of £750,000. The best thing about this property actually is its lovely secluded location. It's set down a little private drive right in the heart of the St John's area, been extended in lovely condition. And Linden Gardens, a lovely house again, also great location, very, very quiet little cul-de-sac, yet being just a few minutes walk from here at the Pantiles, and that is on at a guide of £640,000. Both give a great amount of accommodation for their money, so do get in touch if they're of interest. We hope you have a good week and look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.